Hello everyone, Chocolo Roberto here for another video review. This time we have the Quality Street Matchmakers Yummy Honeycomb. Now, I've said this before in my other matchmaker reviews, the fact that they're associated with Quality Street makes no sense whatsoever to me because none of the flavours are really in Quality Street at all, so I really don't know why they've bothered doing it. Basically you have mint orange and I think salted caramel limited edition. None of those are in Quality Street. I think there's an orange flavoured chocolate cream in Quality Street, that's the closest you'll get. But it's nothing like the matchmaker equivalent. And yeah, so they've even got this sort of what is it, octagon, I think it is, around the edge, which is the shape of the Quality Street box. The Quality Street, by the way, is a sort of assorted chocolate selection box by Nestlé. Yeah, I've got a review of that if you want to go see. But yeah, basically, yeah, that's the gist of it really. So for some reason they branded them this way. I don't know why. There's nothing to do with it. I don't think it adds to it whatsoever. The Matchmakers was quite a good brand in its own right, so I don't really know why they've done it, but they have. This one of the newer flavours, so thanks to Luke Harrigan for pointing this out to me ages ago. I managed to finally get hold of it. Yeah, so I think generally the orange Matchmakers are always the best ones. Generally, you know, just the other ones are kind of nice to have as an aside, perhaps, but the orange ones are generally good. So we'll see if this one works out okay. I've got here, have you tried cool mints? There you go, there's the mint one there. But they have orange as well, and as I say, salted caramel limited edition, if that's still about. Okay, so what does it say? Honeycomb flavoured chocolates with skimmed milk chocolate, dark chocolate, and boiled sugar pieces. Here we go, yep, so yeah, it says the skimmed milk chocolate and plain chocolate contain vegetable fat in addition to cocoa butter. There we go. So 4 sticks is 1 serving, so basically as you can see, this is what they are. There's just loads of these little long thin sticks here. Yeah, I guess you could say the sort of meant to look like matches, but matches are a lot smaller than these. I don't know. And matchmaker. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it was an interesting name. Matchmaker. Yeah, I guess the definition of matchmaker. What would you say? Sort of like, I think it's matchmaker. It's one of those where. Well, I'm quite sure it's basically just someone who tries to sort of couple up 2 people, really. So, but you could say it's for not just people; it could be anything. But I think that's generally the gist of it. So yeah, I don't know. The name doesn't make much sense, but maybe you could nibble. 2 people could nibble one at both ends or something. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's happened. Let me know if you had experiences with finding love with matchmakers. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, so anyway, what does it say? Yeah, so 4 sticks a serving. Per serving, 72 calories, 3.1 grams of fat, 1.8 of which are saturates. So basically a quarter of that. Yeah, so what's that, half of that? 35, 36 is half, so what's that, roughly 18 calories per stick. Yeah, something like that, isn't it? 7.28, 16. So about, I don't know, 0.8 grams of fat per stick. 9 and about 4.5. So 0.45 grams of which are saturates. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Something like that. Yeah. So 0.8 grams of fat, yeah, 0.45 which is saturates, roughly. So there we are. Good maths for a change for me. Don't normally manage to do that, but there we go. Right, so yeah, typical packaging. So it's cool. The other ones, they come in like a tray, and basically the tray has lots of lumps in it, you know, ridges and things, to basically make it look like you're getting more than you are. I guess the weightage is still the same, 130 grams for the whole thing, but obviously that weightage might have changed over the years. So let's just get into it. It's covered in this cellophane. I guess because of the fact that it's a tray, so obviously in the shop people could just slide out the tray and nibble some. So it does have a bit of a strong smell to it actually, a strong honeycomb smell I guess you'd say, but it did smell a bit of matches actually when I first opened it. I don't know if it was just my imagination getting the better of me, but there we go. So you can see here, this is how it works. It opens like this. Nothing I need to sneeze, I do apologise. That's me. There we go. Sorry about that. Maybe getting a cold. Oh, I hope not. Right, so let's see. So there we go. It comes with this little sort of floppy, I don't know what you'd call this really, but this protector I guess, and there's the box there. There we go. And here you can see, here's the actual matchmakers themselves. But if you delve a bit deeper, you can see that it's kind of sort of 2 halves really, and there's this ridge here. And if we take the box out completely, no Easter eggs, nothing underneath. And you can see here that look at that. I mean, you can see there clearly the cheek of it really. So basically you're getting this bit of the side here, which is no man's dead space. I say no man's land there. I don't know why that was not really good analogy. You got it all the way around as well, so you're losing out on space there. So it makes it look more than you get on all corners. And then of course you've got this massive ridge in the middle as well, which basically doesn't really hold anything, as you can see. So really, the size of what you're actually getting is probably half of what you could easily fit all these into such a smaller amount. So it's a bit of a joke, really. Yeah, they could almost be, I was going to say in a matchbox size, but perhaps a bit bigger than that. But you know what I mean. It's very, yeah. I mean, look at that. Yeah, a bit cheeky, really, I think. But as I say, the weight is still the same. But it's just you're getting so much more. I mean, really, when you take off all the sides, the box would be about a centimetre less on the height, and then on the width wise, you'd miss all this ridge out to start with, and then this bit at the side as well. So you're talking about 3 centimetres. So it probably would come up to here, probably. So there we go. Disappointing. And of course it slopes at the side as well. You can slightly see there. So again, you've got a cheat as well. So you can see this little slopage there. So this is the real start here. This bit here, but the slope there. So again. So you're talking even more. Even though I'm looking at it, I'm still thinking there's probably more space than space for the sweets than there is because of that bit there. So really it's probably about 4 or 5 centimetres you're missing off, so it probably would come to about here really. So it's I don't know, well who knows. Anyway, you get the message. Yeah. Very tricky. This is the kind of thing you do with it. It does annoy me. So this big box here could be a lot smaller, could be about up to here perhaps, if not further along, and then not as tall either. So you can see really here, can't you? You can see. There you go. So you can see there the gap. And obviously you do expect some kind of space around it, but even so. And I guess let's see if we did pour these into here. It just annoys me, this kind of thing. That's why I'm going over this. So I do apologise if it's going a bit too far for you, but for me it annoys me. So here we go. You can see here. Push them all up, so you could literally be into there, couldn't they? That's what we could have, and it's not going over the top. Maybe one's going slightly over, but see if I manoeuvre them a bit. They're not going over now, not really. So they could all be into like a space that big. So it's even more than I expected. I thought so. Half the box is not needed. So there you go. A joke, you would say. Anyway, let's pull these back out again. So pointless box and nonsense there. So let's see how many we get anyway. Let's see how many we get. We're roughly doing into 5. I don't think it overly matters how many we get, so I guess, does it really? But so 10. But here's a review, so we do it. 20. Just hard to keep them on the plate. Yes, 30. It's about 35, I think that is. So kind of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, 35 we get. So there we go, 35. And I think, yeah, 35. There's 4 sticks a serving, so 35, 9, 18, 20, 36. There's about 9 servings in there, I think. Okay, just about. Right, okay, so let's have a look. So you can see here, here's what they look like. About 11.5 centimetres long, about ½ centimetre wide, I think. 0.6 centimetres maybe. There we go. So you can see so like a domed top, a flat bottom. It's got sort of tyre tracks on the conveyor belt. It's got sugar piece, so the honeycomb is basically sugary piece. I think it's probably flavouring really, yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's quite see shiny honeycomb sugary pieces. I think you can see those there, those little sort of nodules there. Let's just see what it says. So it does say, what's a honeycomb? Let's have a look. Let's see, yeah. what does this say? Honeycomb flavoured chocolate. So honeycomb flavoured boiled sugar pieces. So the sugar pieces is just there for crunch. It's not the actual honeycomb. So it's honeycomb flavouring. So that's an odd one again, isn't it? So you're not actually getting honeycomb in this, even though it might give you the sensation of honeycomb because you've got these sugary pieces. So there we go. So right, let's give them a taste. I'll just do the old camera liftage. Hello there. Hello. Okay, steady. It's steady. So let's move that way. So knock things over. So you can see basically this is my microphone sticking out here. Maybe I'll move it away a bit. And yeah, there we are. I'm in. Right, so it's a bit difficult because basically the lens is here, but obviously the middle of the camera is here, so it's sort of looking off. So I have to look at off the camera, if you know what I mean. It's very it's a bit weird, but you'll probably know from your own things anyway. But okay, let's give them a taste. Okay. Well, got a nice crunch. Move the perhaps I'll move the microphone back in a bit. There we go. If you wonder what it is, it's the microphone. Just so you can hear me, of course, because you probably could stop hearing me or something. Moving it further away. Now, so you get a nice crunch with the sugary pieces. It doesn't really work, I don't think, because you get honeycomb flavour, I guess, but honeycomb, I think, is synonymous with the texture and the taste of tasting honeycomb. Well, I say taste, experiencing the texture of it, that sort of chewy caramel that kind of compresses into a sort of sticky ball. You just don't get that with this, really, because there is no honeycomb in it. It's a bit disappointing, really. I don't think it tastes. I mean, honeycomb taste isn't that great anyway. It's okay, but it's I don't know. I'm just not sure this works really. I'm not sure it's that tasty. I think Matchmakers only seem to work with the orange flavour. I don't know why. And maybe the mint one a bit. The salted caramel and this one are very similar. They just don't seem to really have a wow factor. They don't seem to work very well at all. It's a bit boring. It's possibly because they're just flavourings. I think the orange one and the mint one, you're used to it being flavourings, whereas these ones you're used to actually having the actual ingredient itself, such as the salted caramel or the, or in this case, the honeycomb, and you're not getting it. You're just getting a sort of a flavour of that, and it just doesn't really work. And quite nice. They're Moorish, they're easy to eat. Just by their very nature, they're just very. You can just grab one and eat it very quickly. And it's just very. It just lends itself to just being pickable. You can just grab one and grab one and grab one, and so they will be eaten and they will go down. But yeah, I think for me, just neither here nor there really. Not an impressive flavour. Excuse me. Let's have a cough now. Hope I'm not getting a cold. But yeah, basically just a bit disappointing. They just don't have a decent flavour particularly. They just don't taste too great. They're just a bit disappointing. Yeah, I think if they had actual honeycomb in there, I think it'd be quite nice. But I think they just, for a reason, they just don't. I think that's just a bit disappointing. No, I do apologise. Yeah, so I think for me, very disappointing really, a bit below average I'd say. I mean, they are, you can eat them, they're quite, they're not unpleasant as I say, you can just keep picking at them and eat them, which I'm doing now. But, as I say, I think the main thing that makes the orange one and the mint ones the best ones is just because they are, you're always going to get flavourings for those flavours. You're not going to get real bits of orange in there generally anyway, or mint. It's always going to have some kind of artificial flavour. But with these ones, as I say, you're expecting, with the salted caramel and honeycomb one, you're expecting a proper filling, a honeycomb filling or a salted caramel filling, whatever. And the flavouring itself, it just doesn't really. It's not an exciting flavour to have, basically. So yeah, I think honeycomb on its own anyway is perhaps a bit disappointing. You'd probably want something else with it, but. Maybe anyway, depending on your taste of course, but yeah, I think for me a bit disappointing. I think maybe if you had Cadbury's Crunchy Bar, of course, that just has honeycomb, and I think a Butterfinger bar as well. But they kind of exceptions to the case really, and I think they do kind of work in their own way. But with this one, I just think it's just a bit disappointing. And I mean, the Butterfinger bar does have peanut butter honeycomb anyway, so it's slightly different. And the Cadbury's Crunchy is a bit a one-off really. The honeycomb in that is quite different anyway. It's kind of I think it's its own recipe in its own right really. It's not just general straight honeycomb. I'm not sure, but anyway, that aside, I just think it's perhaps. I think the Cadbury's Crunchy, I don't know, it's not my favourite bar anyway really, so maybe I'm being consistent there anyway. I just think these are just a flavour that just doesn't work without actually having the actual consistency of the honeycomb in there. I think that's what's missing, and even then it perhaps wouldn't be great anyway, but it would be better, that's for sure, because at least you'd get the taste you're expecting, whereas with this you're just kind of getting I don't know, something or nothing really, I think. So I think a 2.5 out of 5 for me, maybe a 3, that's been a bit harsh really, 2.5, 3 out of 5, yeah, that's what I would say. So get the orange Matchmakers, they're the best ones, all day long, but the mins if you can't get them. Okay guys, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed that review. Follow me to subscribe and like my videos, follow me on Instagram as well, and I'll see you next time. Take care everyone, bye for now, see ya.